Hello everybody, welcome back to Islantiles. I really want to try and get a win on all of the available demo difficulties, so I don't believe I have a win in Explorer yet, and then Settler is not available. These are unchangeable, so back into Explorer, see if we can get that win. All 6 luxuries are unlocked, yes, and they are very important, as will be upgrading our buildings and seeing what we can do. We can see in the image in the bottom right, that will take me over to our available temple. Shall we play that immediately? That way, if it comes back around again, then we have a good chance at scoring twice. These empty tiles around it are not ideal, but we do get an extra 100 just for playing it. So it could be a mint, or it could be a smelter, 165 or 165. Let's take the mint. We'll upgrade that. See what other options we get. Let's take stuff with tinctures, because I don't think we're going to get fish on the kind of island side of things, nor swamps very often. So we'll take a tinctures. And then if we could get some swamp, then we can definitely get some extra. We could do a woodcutter and a sawmill. That would be suitable. Or if we could get some shells, we'd also have some multipliers. So we could do a woodcutter and some shells. 30, 40. We'll do 40 there. So that gets some rings. And then we want swamps and a river if we could as well, but I don't think we can do both. So that'll give us some multiplier on our... what are these? Gems. And then the only thing we have left with our one hammer is rivers and oranges, which we can get 1 multiplier off of a river, so that's nice. Just basically looking for whatever spot gives us the most raw score from this. Looks like it's this 50. So that takes us to 320, 36, 432, 475. It's only 1,200 points. Well, 1,500 points. I suppose that is half of what we need, which is not bad going. And then fresh round. Right, I think there must be something good we can do with an ore mine here. Something like this looks pretty good. That looks even better. Grab a 90 for a single hammer. And then wheat or swamps. Is that what these are? Well, there's a huge amount of wheat right here. So I'll grab that. I guess it's a 1.4. And then again, if we could do swamps, that would come out nicely for us. With 3 hammers, we could do a hunter into a butcher. The butcher also likes... they both like swamps and meat, so that's fine. And because of the extra size that we get on this guy, obviously our returns are much, much larger. And that higher base score is going to do much better for our multipliers. Excellent. And so is the end of our season. No? Oh, I really thought we were going to be over. All right then. these oranges look incredible. That's 200. How much meat do we have left? Not tons, but enough to be impactful on our tinctures. And then the mint gets extra value from those tinctures, so let's see how that goes. Yeah, lovely. Alright then, no need for winter. What is going on? Oh, we've changed... Okay, right. I need to recalibrate. They've changed how the game works. So island progression is bronze, silver, and gold. Island set unsuccessfully. Reach gold medal to continue your journey early. Right, okay. This 424 didn't move, and it was really baffling me, but I understand now. We have a progressive growth thing, kind of like OMG words. Okay then, that's fine. What's going to work really well? That's going to be a lot of points, isn't it? And with wood comes fish. And with swamp comes mountains. And with shells comes rivers. Right, so we're definitely getting to gold. We're not ending early. I wonder if that impacts how much reward we get at the end of the round. Island coin 6, medals, 1 for silver and 1 for gold. Early end interest. Okay, understood. Something I haven't done yet is work with trade routes at all. Adds a tincture trade route to the following island. When a building is placed on top, the building card is destroyed and the trade value for tincture is increased by 0.1. So that's a way to thin the deck that I hadn't really investigated yet. On play, 1.7 if building is placed on a beach tile. Seems reasonably valuable. On play, plus 2.25 if building collects more than the previous building played this session. I like that. I wish I had 9 money to take the trade route as well. But since we don't, I'll take this and the shipyard that we can play on the coast. That seems to make sense to me. And this has, I think, a decent amount of coast with how much gold we're getting. We'll go to a balanced island and we can reevaluate how we're going to go for this island progression now. On play, 2.25 if building collects more. Oh, we didn't even take the... we didn't take the ocean one. Silly me. Okay, so we want to play a single and then a double and then... Or a single, then a better single, then a double. As in hammers, that is. So like a 45... Those are not great. There's lots of 45s around, which is unideal. I need something that's a 40. Because 40... I don't want to play 2 45s in a row. Oh, well, there's a 50. So, if we play a 45, right? Then play a 50. We get the extra 2.25, which is going to be very valuable to us. Then we have 3 hammers left, so we should play whatever our best single play is. That is not very strong. And our resources are not great, although this does rivers, so we can probably do a lot here. 135. Looks pretty good. And then that gets another 2.25. Now, this last one won't be any bigger than the first 2, and that's fine. We expect that. So what should we play? Well, let's see if we can find something with a good luxury, because we haven't improved our luxuries yet. 9 river tiles paired with coral. Three coral there. Or 3 coral there. They amount to mostly the same thing. But that'll get us an extra 1.3 on top of everything else. But 275, not that big. So that gets us halfway to bronze. Right. Shipyard will be very nice, especially with a fisher within that shipyard. So a shipyard alone is going to be about 200 points, which is then a really good baseline for our coming multiplier. Because last time we scored 200 times our multiplier. This is 200 on its own, plus the other things we played this round. So what does that look like? Well, we definitely want the fisher in. Fish and crystals. So that's 60 there. That's 60 there. Those are some 45s. That's a 25. We don't have any other singles. So if I want to play 3 singles and a double, it's got to be a mediocre gold. Is 35 safe? 35, 45, 60, yeah. So we'll do... Where were we? 35. $45. 60. And then big finish. 180, 150, 130. It's just going to be right here. We get a small amount of luxuries just by coincidence, because I wasn't focusing on it. I was focusing on our other multipliers, but that's 4,000 points. Gets us halfway to silver. And then we go again. Right. Butcher is going to do very well over here by the looks of it. Again, I probably want to play a 1-1-1-2, or alternately I could play a 1-2-2. That might be a better balance between X and Y on our multipliers. There's like a mediocre 50. There's a 60 or a 75. And then the butcher gets in like a solid 160. The mill is almost certainly not going to be as strong. Oh, there's a 155. That's not bad. Okay, let's do 45. What did I say this was? 125? Or was it the mill I was having a better time? That's a 155. And this would be a 160. Probably the best we're looking at. So, mill here at 155 somewhere. And a butcher here at 160. So we get chest bonuses for both. And a couple luxuries. There's another 3,500. We get a silver medal. And we're into winter. We need 2,000 points to get a gold medal. We're not going to finish early. That's fine. Let's see what else we can do. We probably don't need to be too precious right now, in all honesty. 65. 115. 160. That'll do us nicely, I think. Well, it's closer than I thought it was going to be. But we did make it. Trade ships not discovered. On start of island places pier. On end of spring, a trade ship arrives and unloads cargo at the pier. Collect the cargo by placing a building next to it to get 4 money. On play, plus 15 per empty tile in range. Resources in range grow. I think I like that for our current growth. Especially if we're going to play stuff at the coast where there's going to be lots of empty tiles. And then down here we can do a mill 2 with card draw and swamp. A school or a tavern. Tavern for 1 gold. This looks like it's very strong with the number of buildings and its range. 3 range is humongous. It is 3 hammers, so we'd only be able to do 1 hammer, 3 hammers. But I'll try. Do you want a school as well? When building is placed on top, the building card is transformed. Sure. Then... well, this guy's got 2 upgrades on it, so I think I'm fine with that. Try and play those reasonably early. So... 5 hammers. One player 1, 1, 2. This little tiny speck of island here could be very valuable to us. Where do we begin though? What's going to be our best big card in hand? Shipyard gets 100 over there. Butcher gets... we see a 185 or is it just the 180? A 180. Winery 115. We haven't drawn a 3 hammer building, so we could do a 1-1-1-2 or a 1-2-2. I think a 1-1-1-2 will be fine. So Iron Mine has lots in the range of 60-65. Woodcutter has a solid 80 up there. Hunter has a 40 or a 130 if it goes on the temple, which I guess we have to think about how much the temple scores for the benefit of chess, which will be an interesting thing to consider. If we're going to play mountains, getting some more swamp wouldn't be bad. Okay, so... let's start then with a 65. Then an 85. I really thought I was going to get more mountain out of that, but not so much. Then this is 130, finishing with, well, I'll be finishing that way around. Or we could upgrade the butcher. Let's do a 115 here. Oh, I biffed it. That's right, this is still a 130. I was thinking about playing the butcher next, but I can't. But we can still do this with the hunter, and I think we still get enough for the hammers. 30 per rings gives 30 per gems. We got some gems. And these guys hunt swamps. Gems want swamps and mountains, so that has some synergy. The 680 times 11 is pretty good going, I would say. How does that look up here? Almost bronze. For gold, we need 20,000. We did about 40% of that in a season. What do we have now? Very, very big shipyard is exciting on 2. I wish I could have a button down here that would let me order by number of hammers rather than color, just so that I could have all my ones together. So what's shipyard collecting? Fish and coral. Wood and rivers. Uh, 155 there. 230 there. Is there something I could stick on here that would be beneficial to me? 145. 230. 155. Except it might be less, given that we've harvested some of the stuff here. Wheat and rivers synergize on sacks and helmets. Wheat and helmets are a synergy, so we'll take that. So that's 145. Then mill for 180. Shipyard for 230. That gives us 5 rivers. And then the shipyard does collect coral, doesn't it? Yeah. So this will give us hopefully at least 5 coral. Yep. So we get 1.5 on our luxuries. That's another 8,100. This is at 16.1. We need 3,000. Now, don't go too fast, because last time I was just not thinking about min-maxing because I wasn't aware of how the seasons were working. But with the tavern does a huge 290 up here. Is massive. We have a school. Is there something I want to get rid of from the school? I mean, I feel like I should do something. If I stick the gold here, we just get a flat 100. Can I get a decent hunter for something else? Well, what's the tavern is harvesting meat and oranges. Hold on. Meat and oranges on meat and oranges. That's going to be huge if we can harvest both. But that would have to be about there. 4 and 4-ish. there anything else we want to play for synergies? Your meat and oranges on meat and oranges. You're not going to have any synergy. Alright, if they're not going to have any synergy, then we'll just play them for 100. As long as we know what we're playing next to that for some other value. So there's a 60. There's 100. Change that to... An Iron Mine 2 is strictly better, although they're all 2s, so they're all strictly better. Give me Woodcutter 2. So that was the 100, and then we play this here for 290, getting at least 3 oranges and 3 meats, which will give us tinctures all on its own, I hope. Yep. Very nice. Tell you what, playing out every round, because we're getting all the way to gold every time, or playing all 4 seasons if you don't get to gold, rather, means that individual runs are a little bit chunkier, a bit longer for a round. End of season +4 if you have less than 5 money. That's probably going to be the case. End of season +2 per unused hammer. I'm not going to do that. So give me this. For 2 gold, I could take a smelter. Smelter 2. I'm going to pass on that, I think. And then take another balanced island, I guess. With our poorhouse, we should be considerably stronger. Alright, 112s. You get extra value for helmets. Helmets are copper or iron and wheat. You make wheat already, so that sounds good to me. There's a 50 there. There's a 60 there. What else am I going to play? 111. Shell Collector is not very strong. Woodcutter, also not very strong. But those are our options, really, if we're playing 1112. We're going to get some mountains, so we might as well try and get some swamps. So there's 30 for that. $50 there. 60 there. And then just one of these to be big, which I think I was going butcher for swamps. Let me let this finish so I can see what my luxuries are looking like. Coral would be best, but I need a bigger number than that. Does it showing wood? Yeah, it shows, sorry, not wood. It shows the chessboard over if the play I'm making qualifies, which is important to me. So I can see this play wouldn't at 50, this would at 70 or 85. Right then, let's do this. Doesn't feel like my strongest move, but that actually came out very well. 8,000. We need 28 for gold. Right. This whole chessboard malarkey really has me building turns in a whole new min-maxy way. That's bad. That's also not very strong. Those guys are just pretty weak. 150 on a winery. We don't have any special buildings. 110 on there. We get a fishing in. Then 150 on the winery. 160 on there. Where was it? There was a 150, wasn't there? Oh, it was a winery, not a mill. Probably lacking luxuries, but can't do it all every turn. Oh, we got 1.5. It's another 7,000-ish. Yep, good mental math. Right, we need to do double that again in 2 seasons to get gold. Iron looks like it could be strong here. We have the tavern option, which will also be very strong. So, iron for an 85 on mountains. We have something for swamps. We do. But we're not going to get many swamps because of the geography. What else do you harvest? Meat and oranges together. Where are we going to put that to get strong? 200. 200 there. $85. We could get some wheat, perhaps. Except not with the mill. The mill is a 2-hammer. Alright, we're going to do a mediocre woodcutter into a half-decent iron mine into the biggest, best one of these I can get for... Is there only one meat over here? Well, there's... That gets 2 meat, 2 oranges. So that gets plus 2 tinctures. Around 200. I'll take that. I'm not sure which was better on X plus Y value, or X times Y, but we've committed. Alright, we need 7,000 out of this last turn for gold. Hunter on diamonds with swamp and mountains. There's very little swamp left. Corn and helmets on corn and iron. There's not much iron left either. Damn. Wood and fish. There's all of 2 fish remaining. There's like no good resources here, man. Oh, we can't hunt iron because we've got no iron cards, so that's out of the picture. So helmet luxuries are redundant. I guess we're just going to have to take what little ground we can get. 35. There's a 50 on single. There's a 65 on single. And then a 2-hammer finish. We would benefit most from... We can't get the iron. Can't get gold. We can't get mountains, so an orange. $95. Doesn't feel great, but that's what we've got. That's 6,500. No, 6,000 on the nose, basically. We were short for the gold medal, unfortunately. Now, we have to spend because we need to get back down under 5 gold. End of season, gain value. We don't have many seasons. We have, there's some time left. End of season, plus 100 per building placed within range 1 of the Great Market. Let's do that. You can sell technologies, I understand, thank you. Adds a trade route to the following island. When building is placed on top, the building card is destroyed and the trade value for sacks is increased by 0.1. Let's do that. Gets us down to 0 money. We can thin the deck by a card. And give me the safe island. I will happily upgrade something. Nice of them to place that where I can only place 4 buildings around it. End of session, plus 100 per building placed in range. Okay. Looks like this island is a bit more friendly than the last one. We need 18,000 for bronze and 40,000 for gold. That was our market. Our temple is right next door. Looks like we've got good shipyard prospects here, which is nice. What goes with fish and coral? Rivers and wood. Got nothing for... Oh, we got rivers on a mill. So we get 95 on wood. 110. 260. Okay. We said 95 on wood. Uh, 125 would be fine. And then hopefully a big old chunk of coral. Shipyard, extra value. I guess berries. I don't love it, but it's better than not upgrading something, I think. How do the luxuries shake out there? A 1.2 and a 1.5. $12,000 for a spring is pretty good, I would say. Right, cornfield for helmets, wood and wheat. Sorry, or iron and wheat. We can't do iron. Fine, diamonds. Mountains, we can't do either. Damn. Alright, it's just going to be a regular 3-in-1 hammers turn. However best we can Get that going. There's a 60 on the fish. We can play on the trade route. Place a building here to destroy the building card and increase the trade value of sacks. What could I get rid of? It's a great question. I don't think I've played the Dweller yet. So that would be 140 on the trade route. So, 1... Go away. So we could do a hunter for 70. A collector's hut for 60. A fisher for 60 as well. And then the dweller. Oh, we could do 65 on there. God, I wish I had just a slightly better mental memory for these things. So, Dweller is last at 140. Fisher has options at mostly 60 or a 45. Collector's Hut. We could do a 50 next to the Great Market. I'd be fine with that. And the Hunter, a 65. $50, 60, 65. And you're going on the trade route. Hopefully that works out how I'm hoping it does. So now our sack value is much stronger. $12k turn. So 12 to 24. Not bad. Right. Could be a tavern turn. There's lots of meat and oranges right here, so that looks good to me. So the singles, the only singles we have are woodcutter and this guy. Woodcutter gets a strong 115. Collector's Hut. I don't want to I mean, I can collect the oranges this way. That would be fine, I think. So there's a 60, a 115, and the best tavern we can afford. Plus 4 on tinctures. Plus 6 on tinctures for 330. I think is better. That's going to be a strong turn, I think. It's a straight 18,000. That's 16.8. And we got an early finish for the first time, so we must be doing something right. 7 gold. On play, +1 on the next island if the card has at least 2 upgrades. +2 in hand, -2 hand size. I think Rune of Forging with chess could be very good depending on the draws we get. Because then we can play So +2 hammers means we can play an extra 2 card, like a 2 hammer card. -2 hand size, we go from 8 to 6. I think it's worth trying. Let's drop. We have to drop something. I'm going to drop this Great Market thing. We'll see how this goes. Take another safe island. So, 6 cards, 7 hammers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 works. We basically get to play everything, which is lovely with the chessboard, really. So we got some 60, 70, 75s. 60, 70. Alright. Let's not overthink this too much. There's a 60. There's a 70. There's a 75. There's a 190. And it looks like the 220 is our strongest. Are there any extra... if we get lots of coral, we get a bunch of extra value. Coral and fish. Basically, we want both. 220 coral, 2 fish. I feel like that's a very, very big turn. God, look at those luxury values. Yes. That gets us almost all the way to gold just in spring. So here, 7 hammers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't do the tavern. If we do, tavern is 3. That leaves us at 4. We could do 1, 1, 2. 75. 100 and something. 145. 340. I mean, I'm pretty okay with that. Okay, 75. 110. $145, and then let the luxuries just harvest in. I think this is meat and oranges, so we know that's just kind of a mix of its own. 315 on +4 looks like it's going to be best. I think that's going to be a big turn. That definitely gets us to our goal. The gold in 2 seasons is solid. We need to keep our money low. +3 if building collects things from other buildings in range. 1.5 +1.5 if building is placed on rocks. This is +3. This is +4 at end of season when you have less than 5 money. This is +3 if a building collects money from another building in range. This collects from a lot of buildings in a big range. I just don't know that I'm going to play that close together for a lot of the value. And it's kind of the only one that gets the biggest buff. We could just re-roll to burn money to stay cheap. We could take a trade route and a temple. That gets us down under 5 gold. And I could take another temple. Because if I can play a 1 hammer on a temple and another 1 hammer on a temple, we are in for a big time. I don't know why I like orienting to the mountains at the back so much. Probably just because they're so tall. Doing that just makes it feel like it's obstructing stuff. Right, we've got very defined zones here. Should be fine. 7 hammers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just have to pick the one thing we're not playing. And that one thing is going to be a 2 hammer thing, so we can figure out the 1 hammer stuff nice and early. This is the only wheat on the board, but I can do 130 on this temple with it. There's the other temple in the middle. I could do an iron mine on there just for a flat 100. That's 130, and then the woodcutter can get a solid 95. Basically building on here to destroy the building and get 100 back. Might drop the iron mine. If we do that, it would be a flat 100. Cornfield here is 130. That's a flat 100 too. That's 95. Let's do the 95. That's a flat 100. Destroyed. Upgrade salt, which is huge for our market when we play it. Then that's going on there. Give me the meat. Then 4 hammers left. We just have to choose which of these 2 things we're playing. We can do a 135, which stays on chess. Another 135. A 95. Do we have any luxuries so far? We have... If we took... We're not going to get mountains or iron, so fish is the stronger one for us. It's going to have to be here if we want to keep up the chess, I think. Do a 135 and a 175. If I could get this shipyard to get mountains, that'd be nice. We can't. Give it rivers as well. Because then we can do rivers and coral at the same time, perhaps. 800 is a very good base, but we don't get anywhere near the 53 malt we had previously. We need 35 for bronze. It's a tavern round. If that's a 3, then we need 4 prior, which will probably be a 112. 60. 50. Tavern is meat and oranges. We can't do both. So the tavern probably needs to do the oranges, which means the hunter needs to get as much meat as possible. Which looks like it's only going to be... That would be 3 at 55. That would be on 60. There's 145. That's good. More meat. Okay, so fish for 60. Oh, I biffed it. This is 55. I did that in the wrong order. 5 left. Sawmill for 150. Tavern for 275. Lots of oranges. Alright, we're going to get bronze, so little to worry about in that regard. For a 7, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just pick the one of these we're not playing. So, oranges and rivers, 75, 65. Right, let's do a 60, 65, 75. Rivers and wheat, we can do a 90 or 100. Sawmill, we can do a 160. Shipyard, we can do a 270. 290. 330. No idea what we might be getting for luxuries on that, but okay, quite a lot, as it turns out. Right, that blasts us past silver. We have winter to do 20,000. We have another tavern turn. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be... Oh, excuse me. That's some default key I did for rotating. Tavern. Mint gives extra value on tinctures. Tavern, meat and oranges. The meat and the oranges are far apart. We could do some meat on there, or we could do some oranges on here. So, do a winery for as many oranges as I can get. This is 5 oranges. Do a mint for better value up here, 160. Solid. And then the tavern for meat on this side, as much meat as we can manage. That's plus 5 on our tinctures. 250, 265. It's going to be a big turn, I think. We were 4k short. That's fine. On play, 1.7 if building is placed on a beach tile. On play, 0.75 per height of the tile above sea level. 8 gold. An even bigger trading post. This is a tavern 2. This is a trading post 3. I'll buy that. And let's grab trade route. And just give me the safe isle. I'm not concerned about our money earning right now. Last island, and then we probably have a leaderboard island thereafter. But right now we have Tavern 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we don't play the Butcher, we play everything else. We should be pretty good. There's 50s or 80s on that. 50 and 60 on that. 75. Right, let's start with a... Oh, we got the woodcutter as well to do. 80, 95. Okay. 75, 60, 80. So start with a 60 there. And a 75 there. And 80 there. And 85 there. Then let that count up, see what we might be able to do for meat and oranges on the end here. That gives us +3, that gives us +4, and a bigger overall number. That is a lot of luxury. 44,000. 40,000. We need 60 for bronze. Right, so it's going to be 3 2s and a single, so we'll just play the single first, no doubt. Rivers and coral. Let's do that. Right, what else are we playing here? We're not getting any meat, so tinctures don't matter for the mint value. These guys both do... you do rivers and coral, which could be a very big guy for our sack game. +2, +3 on 90. Right, let's do +3 on 90. 95 on 210. 190, 210. We'll see that what that shakes out to. That is a big on sacks, that is. 27k. Right, we have won, because we've got bronze on the last island, so that is a win. Huge trading post. Shells, meat, and gold. Let's get rid of something here. I have to play it, which costs hammers, and it will give me a flat 100 for gold and shells. We can get gold and shells up here. 3, 4, 5. Do 6 and 7 individually here. 70. 65. 70. 100. And then we want shells and gold out of this if we can. +2 on rings. It's about the best we're going to get on that for 240 is not bad. It's not that much luxury, but 20,000? No, 12. Bad math. Into winter. So we'd like 11,000 to get to silver at the least. We've got 2 shipyards and 3 singles to play. 80. 45. 50. So let's do 45, a 50. There's an 80 around here, wasn't there? 80. 105. And 220. Get through that nice and quick. Alright, we get silver. Well done, you've conquered this difficulty level. Your skills will truly be put to the test on the next island where you can compete for top spot on the leaderboard. Blue buildings range +1. On play +8 per unused resource. Blue card range is +1. Could be worth a lot to me. Honestly, end of season +2. I don't think is worth that much to me anymore. So we'll see how that goes. Fish market. It's cheap, but it's 3 hammers, which I don't know. I'm going to do it. We'll see what we can do on this last island here. Good coasts. There's no need to go for a tricky island here, is there? So we want just a couple days of humongous luxuries, if we could. Right, this guy's going to get bigger range, so fish and coral. Put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One thing to not play. Rivers and coral are good. Swamp and mountains are good. We can get like a 60 up there. The decent 100 down there. There's an 80 there. So start me with a 60. Then which way around did these go? There's a 80 there. 100 there. This is assuming I can get more out of these guys because they're higher targets, but maybe I got overzealous on that because that fishery is going to have a lot going on. But no, 135 would be fine. 115. That's worth doing because it gets us 2 luxuries. So we can get basically 2 diamonds out of that. We can get 1 sack out of that at 140. 2 diamonds at 140. 165, 2 diamonds. Probably our strongest. Well, that's going to compound quite nicely since we've got 4 luxuries working. Yeah, that's decent. Okay, trading post will be played. Gold shells meat. There's golden meat around there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it's one of the sawmill or the mint we're not playing. Gold meat shells. Well, let's play the small stuff first. There's a 60 there. 105 there. Let's take this 55. This 60. This 105. And I biffed it. We got 4 hammers left. So we can either play both of these or just this. 510 is humongous. 570. Sure. We get a couple of we miss out on a hammer. I biff that one. We get a couple of luxuries. I mean, they're decent luxuries, at least. Then we have to end our turn manually because we have 1 spare hammer. Into autumn. Fish market is going to have a huge range down here on the coast. Fish and coral. Fish, coral, fruit. The tavern on oranges and meat doesn't have a great spot. Fish, coral, fish, coral, fish, coral, orange. We have anything for rivers? We do. Winery for rivers. And we don't have a woodcutter. So we want the best rivers we can get. Probably this. That leaves us on 5. We need basically at least 6 coral. That will get that, as will both of these. Shells and gold. Doesn't matter. Alright, I don't think very much varies with what we have available to us here. 260 on that. Less on this, which is interesting. Well, I think I just ate my own lunch there. 330 on that will do. Alright, not quite over the 100k mark, but working on it. Last turn. It's a trading post turn. Gold, shells, meat. Oranges. Golden shells together work. So that could go up here. Meat goes with oranges. We cannot collect oranges. So that's meat and shells together on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wood and fish. Wood and fish we can do. 45. 125. 110. So 45, 110. 125. 420. That's all she wrote. How do our luxuries look after that resolves? Decent. Not my best, but decent. Hour and 15-minute video. Let me know if you made it all the way through. It's probably the last episode in the playlist for this. Global rank 62nd, top 20%. Yeah, so that is the game done on the highest difficulty in the demo, so I may well visit this back in 1.0. If you guys let me know if you want to see that, it would be really great for my perspective of things. For now, though, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. If you want to check out the game, it will be linked in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.